Where are the low value men? Like, what are all the low value men up to during these trying times? Because the high value men, I know they're around. They won't shut the fuck up. Low value men, I have not heard a word out of. I'm starting to think I'm on their side. I think I want one of those. I want a low value man. They don't make podcasts. I haven't seen one low value man make a podcast. Do they not know how to use microphones? Maybe that's a good thing. That's hot. All right, I've never seen a man use a microphone for good.
Until now, everybody buckle up. It's low value mail time with your host, Danny Polishchuk. Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to an all-new episode of Low Value Mail. We're trying something a little bit different this evening. Our guest, Gordo, he was supposed to, from the Conspiracy Guys podcast, he was supposed to join us shortly, and then he fell ill. He fell very ill. Is that a conspiracy? Is there someone behind that? Or did he just fall ill? I don't know. I'm led to believe that it's some sort of conspiracy, but I don't know. So anyways, he will not be joining us tonight. He canceled last minute, and it's going to happen where people just cancel last minute. It's just the nature of the game. So we're doing open lines. All right. Anything goes, open lines on the show tonight. I have very, very little planned. I didn't really plan anything. I planned an interview with Gordo. We were going to talk about Charles Manson. He had done a nice little piece on them, and we were going to get into Charles Manson, but we're not going to be doing that. So we're going to see how this goes. I don't know exactly what the deal is. I don't know if there's going to be an after show, because this is kind of similar to the after show. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Let's just play it by ear, see how it goes. But yeah, so anyways, the phone lines are going to be open for the entirety of the show. You can call in 1-888-949-2969. Basically, if you got something, that you want to talk about, specifically, a topic or whatnot, this is the show for you. This is the show for you. I think so, yeah. So, anyways, that's what we're going for. We'll be back tomorrow night with a new episode of The Bathhouse. If anybody cares to check that out, should be a fun show. Also, this Friday, I will be in Rutherford, New Jersey, at the Icarus Fest. I will be doing comedy at... I'm pulling it up right here. Guys, I did not prepare for this at all. Oh, right. Here we go. Here we go. June 9th. We already got a call. Okay. No, it doesn't ring. Did I fuck this up already? I might have fucked this up already, so let's see. Hello? Thanks for calling. Yeah. Yo, thank you for calling Low Value Mail. Open lines. All right. So far, so good.
So far, so good.
How's it going?
All right. I got a topic.
Yeah, shoot.
Dam being blown up down there in Ukraine.
The dam being... So I just saw Tucker Carlson talking about it briefly. I honestly don't actually... I'm not going to lie. I didn't even hear about this until he... When did this happen? The Kakova Dam collapse?
This morning. Yeah, I caught it this morning. I was just watching YouTube live feeds, and I saw DW. They were covering it live.
What's Daily Wire? Okay,
yeah. No, not Daily Wire. I think it's called Deutsche Welle. It's like a German
okay,
news outlet.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were covering it, and they were talking about how the Russians were accusing the Ukrainians of blowing it up. Ukrainians were accusing the Russians of blowing it up, and I'm having Nord Stream flashbacks. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, so that's exactly what happened with Nord Stream?
Right?
And who did blow it?
Exactly.
Who blew it up?
I mean,
with Nord Stream. Who did the Cy Hirsch say blew it up?
That's
the
that's the thing with Nord Stream. Like, news keeps coming out, like, because like what in September of 2022, right? Everyone was saying Russia blew it up, or whatever, right? And then like the Swedes were sending like investigators down there to go like check it out, and like more and more like info is coming out that like the Ukrainians were letting like the CIA and the State Department know that, hey man, like we're gonna target this thing.
Yeah,
just give us.
I mean, I feel like the Ukrainian
government.
Yeah, I feel like they're kind of working hand in hand to a degree.
So, yeah, it's like really sloppy stuff. It's like, you know, the Nord Stream thing got blown up in like 2022. I think it was in September, and like now we're in June of 2023. So like the timeline between we thinking the Russians did a thing and then it coming out that like the Ukrainians did a thing is like 9 months.
Right.
And it's like 9 months too late. It's like 9 months worth of like billions of dollars of like aid, like weapons packages.
Oh, all
like
that shit.
Tech.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm thinking about this war. It's like, you know, whose interest is it for like this war to even end? Like all the arms manufacturers and suppliers around the world are loving it, right?
Oh, they're making bank.
Like,
they're cleaning up. Yeah,
right?
I don't know. It seems like America, like nobody even talks about it anymore. Like I don't think anybody gives a shit about it here, to be honest. Like not really.
It just seems like they do these like little things every once in a while to like keep the damn thing going. Because like from what I knew, like watching all this like Ukraine map analysis, real time stuff, like day after day, like Ukraine's gonna go on the offensive, right? Like the ground's hardened up. They got all these like tanks from the West. They got all these like armored personnel carriers. They've got all these jets and what have you. So like, yeah, like the Ukrainians should be starting their offensive in earnest, right? So
yeah,
it would kind of make sense that the Russians would blow up a dam like on that southern flank to keep the Ukrainians from like storming into Crimea.
Okay.
At the same time, it's like, what could be better to like get more sympathy and get like Ukraine back like on the radar, right? And get, you know,
I mean, that's a strategic
like,
move for if you're Ukraine to if you're saying they blow it up themselves, they're like, yeah. But again, do they need any more sympathy? Like, don't they have just like a blank check from America at this point? I can't imagine America's just gonna be like, you know what, we're good.
I think you kind of said it too, like, you know, is it still like on our radar? Like, do we still have like an appetite in the West to like do the war any longer? But
I mean, the government does. Like, people are probably just like don't really care about it too much anymore. But like, I'm sure the government does. That would be my feelings of it, anyways.
The whole thing seems pretty sucked, but like, I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah. I'll have to. I saw Tucker Carlson put out his like new show or whatever on Twitter, and he talked about.
I'll have to go check that out.
He had talked about it for a minute, but I didn't have a chance to look at it.
Right.
Cool, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Thanks, Dan.
All right, let's see what's going on in the chat. Oh yeah, so I found the thing, by the way. I'm an idiot. If show at 8 p.m. Friday night. It's going to be me, Rich Voss, Kurt Metzger, Dan Natterman, and Lou Perez on the lineup if you guys want to roll out. And then there's a bunch of speakers all weekend. Max Blumenthal, Aaron Mate, Michael Tracy. Those are just people I know. Thaddeus Russell, and many, many more who will be speaking at this thing. Should be fun. So, anyways, if you guys want to check that out. And then July 7th, I'll be headlining at Laugh It Up in Poughkeepsie, New York. If you are around, I believe that's a Friday night or Saturday night. All right, we got another caller here. Hello, thanks for calling. Low value mail, open lines.
Man.
Yo, what's up? Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Chad, I can hear you, man.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, what's up, man?
How's it going?
I'm good, man. I was wondering, did you hear anything about that Sonic Boom thing?
Sonic Boom?
It was yesterday, or maybe it was either yesterday or the day before.
No, I will tell you though. The air quality. Oh yeah, I see this sonic boom heard across Washington D.C. after fighter jet scandal. The air in New York City right now is like, I guess there's these wildfires in eastern Canada, and it's like crazy how smoky it is in New York City right now. Like everywhere. It was like I walked from my studio to, I just did a spot at the stand before here, which is like legitimately a 5-minute walk, and like I could feel it in my throat just like in 5 minutes. It's pretty wild.
So, and that's coming from the fires that's burning in Canada?
Yeah, there's forest fires, bad ones in Canada, and they're like making, it's like incredible. Like if you look, they were posting photos of like the Yankees game and stuff tonight. It was like super smoky. Yeah, there's a plane crash linked to sonic boom scare across DC area. This is from NBC Washington. It says, let me turn off this mini player. 4 people are dead after a plane with an unresponsive pilot flew through restricted airspace. Oh, this is like this family or whatever. It was followed by fighter jets authorized to fly at supersonic speed. And the crash left behind. So I think someone, I don't know exactly what they're saying happened. I saw something though about like a mother and a daughter were on it. I guess the sonic boom was heard as a result of them trying to scramble planes to find them.
I guess. I mean,
Did
my
you hear
initial thought when I had read that, I definitely heard it. Yeah, I think everybody in this whole area, there's no way you could. It was so audible, and I thought it was like, I honestly thought it was like a tree had fell, like a really big tree.
Really?
But it was just like, it was so strong though. It was way stronger than I was just like, man, we was all outside trying to figure out what had happened.
Like it's like thunder, or way more than like way loud. Like is it? Like,
and that's what
yeah.
It was like thunder, but like if you was like, I guess I've never been that close to like lightning striking. I don't even know, man. It was a ridiculous sound. But you could definitely hear it, and it was obvious. And then I thought it was going to be one of those things like they never talk about again.
Yeah. I mean, from the sounds of it, it sounds like it was, this plane went unresponsive, and then, it says it was a Cessna, belonged to John Rumpel from Melbourne, Florida. His daughter, granddaughter, nanny, and their pilot were all on board. So that's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened though. I guess maybe the pilot had an emergency or something, and then I mean I can't imagine anybody of the 3 other people knew how to fly a plane.
Well, to tickle any type of conspiracy,
sure.
nerve, they did say, I did hear that like the cockpit had lost oxygen somehow. Like, okay. I don't know how that could possibly happen, but yeah, they say he might have like, like I guess suffocated essentially.
Oh, crazy! And
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I gather it'll be a matter of time, but I guess I don't even know if that falls under a conspiracy. That just might be some sort of malfunction at that point.
Or is it?
Or is it? I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Who's this guy, John Rumpel? That's a.
I don't know, man. I mean, to be getting.
I am somewhat curious of who someone. I mean, the guy has a private jet, so there's he's. I don't know who he is. He's just listed as a businessman. He's the owner of multiple businesses, including Encore Motors of Melbourne, Cessna Passenger. Oh, so he was like in that business.
Oh, okay.
And John Rumpel is a political donor who donated hundreds of millions to Donald Trump's presidential candidate. Huh. Well, that's interesting right there.
All very interesting.
All very interesting. But yeah, I don't know too much about it. But yeah, that is interesting. You heard the sonic boom there, but
yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's all I had for real.
All right, cool. Later, Chad, everybody. Yeah, I don't know who this John Rumpel guy is. That obviously sucks, but. Damn, it's crazy how people will just donate several $100 million to a political candidate like that. By the way, shout out to all the supporters of the show, the patrons, you are the actual reason why this show is happening tonight. Like, you know how like a lot of people would be like, without you, we couldn't do this show. And you know, that's not true. I could do this show without you, but I did leave it up to people to vote tonight. And the patrons voted for Open Line. So shout out everybody. Give the patrons a pat on the back if you're enjoying the show, because they made this one happen. All right, we got more callers. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
Hello.
Hey, who am I speaking with?
This is Aaron.
Aaron, what's up, Aaron? Thanks for calling the show.
Very welcome, man.
Yeah, what do you want to talk about, Aaron?
Don't know. I'm just lonely, bored, drunk.
You're drunk and lonely, Aaron? Where do you live, Aaron?
Ohio.
You live in Ohio. Yeah, that checks out.
The air.
What's that?
We've been having air quality alerts for the past couple of days out here.
I mean, New York is legitimately. I think they had mentioned it yesterday, but it only came here today. But it's like legitimately, like my chest was like I could feel it.
Yeah, you could see like even visibility was reduced for a few miles. Like the sun had like an orange hue, going over. Oh
yeah. I mean, when I was just walking over here, like when people's headlights are on, you can see the smoke in front of people's headlights. One time I was in, I want to say Kelowna, British Columbia, and they had forest fires out there, and it's pretty similar to this. But I feel like it's pretty rare to be happening in New York City. That would be my guess on that one. But
yeah, who knows?
Yeah, is the air is bad there where you are specifically?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm down south of Ohio. I'm Cincinnati.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's like,
yeah.
I don't know what's causing our air. It might be like we've been having a drought. I don't think it's rained in about 2 weeks or something over here.
Oh, really?
So it might just the dust and stuff kicked up in the air.
Yeah. I don't know. It's apparently there's hundreds of fires. Yeah, it says 414 fires are burning in Canada as of Tuesday evening. It's weird too, because in Canada, like I was just looking, and a lot of the anti-Trudeau people are basically saying Trudeau is like arsonists are setting these fires. So there's like a big debate, not debate, but essentially online, I see it's a lot of the people, like a lot of people are basically like the fires are being set by arsonists, to like continue some sort of climate change agenda, essentially, and then I guess I don't know what the truth of it is, but that's the conspiracy.
I heard that conspiracy a couple of years ago, going up the west coast of the United States, like up through Northern California. Oregon.
I had a friend who works in that industry. Like he's a helicopter pilot and works in firefighting in Western Canada and sometimes like Northern Ontario and stuff. And he said that there are groups of people, because there's certain like groups who make a lot of money off of they're just like firefighters. That's what they do essentially, is they fight fires. So if there's no fires, they'll just set them. So they have work essentially, which is pretty fucked up. But that's he did tell me that.
I believe that. That's like the
that's
socialist argument against capitalist infrastructure is like, well, you're going to have firemen who start fires to put the fires out if you're totally
right
and cap.
Yeah. And that's the thing is. He's not coming from it like that's not the conspiracy, and I don't think the conspiracy people, that's not what they're saying. They're not like people are just doing that for money. They're saying that the fires are being lit for some sort of government agenda.
I might believe that. You know what I mean? Like if you want to dive deep into the conspiracy land, you got the Soros-backed NGOs who are then funding like the Antifa types. And it wouldn't be super surprising for having some billionaire overlord deciding to start fires so that climate does become a forefront
Yeah,
issue.
I mean, that would be a major long game thing, but it seems like they're just kind of overwhelmed. And I mean, forest fires are something that happens, so it's not like the craziest thing in the world. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Hey, oh man,
Take care.
have a good one.
You too. Let's see what's going on in the old chat. Shout out to Bill Fenner. I only donate $2 to Danny, and I feel like a sucker. We're all suckers. We are all suckers. By the way, you see all of these people who are mods in the chat. The reason they are mods is because they are either patrons or subscribers to the channel, so consider joining the channel. It's a good time. We have good time. I had some fun stuff actually planned for the after show if we were going to do like a normal after show, but whatever. It is what it is. This is where we're at. The doing open lines. Phone lines are open. 1-888-949-2969. I might actually have to change that number too, by the way, which is so fucking annoying. But Zoom is a huge pain in my ass. I'll explain after this caller. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Danny. This is Annie, or whatever
Annie.
my name is. How are you?
Good.
Hey.
How are you? Question,
doing
Annie.
okay.
Whatever happened to that
Yeah.
gentleman who you called about?
Oh, yeah. So I call in mostly, I'm doing like a caricature.
Okay.
So that was just me kind of caricaturizing his not real apology.
Oh,
If you want,
gotcha.
so what he said was I felt bad about my behavior.
Can you
which I felt like
just
I did.
catch people up to speed because they might not know what we're talking about?
Oh, okay, fine. I called in on the bathhouse and kind of got a little pointed about if you don't actually say I'm sorry, is it a real apology?
Sure. Yeah. And it
Yeah,
sounded like the
and-
guy who you were speaking about was sitting beside you. That's what it felt like.
Okay.
Was it
That's
true?
'cause I'm kind of
No.
like workshopping a caricature.
Oh, so you were just doing a bit on us.
I mean, I wasn't really doing a bit because I watch it afterwards and I'm like, yeah, this wasn't really landing. So it was a
It
real
did
thing
land.
that happened.
No, it did land. Everybody
No,
was
but
like,
it
good
didn't.
God.
It didn't really land because you thought I was being serious.
Oh.
And I wasn't really being. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It's okay. It's okay. It was. He said I felt wrong about my behavior, and I felt like that's. I didn't say anything, but I was like, well, that's not really an apology.
That
But anyway,
doesn't-
that's not why I
doesn't
called.
count.
That's not why I
No, why are you calling, Annie?
Well, it's not an apology. It's an apology when you say I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm calling in because I want to talk about this low value, high value shit.
Sure.
Because I'm tired. Like, I'm just tired of it, and I think it's the erasure of the middle class. It's just every time I see it, I just feel like it's the middle class getting shat on by this.
No, there's a term for the
high
middle.
value.
It's scrotes. The middle class are scrotes.
Right, and it's like that's a shitty thing to call someone.
Obviously, yeah.
It's like we're losing the ability to think that the middle class is something that you want to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that's a
anything
valuable.
That's not, yeah, anything that's not associated with this like fantasy 1%, 0.1%, are now elite overlord essentially, who's siphoned all the wealth from this country. That somehow we're all supposed to be seeking that lifestyle when that lifestyle is intentionally unattainable, while we're all getting shat on for being not part of this elite cabal essentially that no one's really a part of.
Yeah.
And I'm just tired of it.
And becoming more and more unattainable. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, though, I don't know how many actual people are like I wonder in the grand scheme of all people, including people who are not on the internet, how many people are talking about this like low value, high value stuff. I imagine it's, I don't want to say a fringe, but something along those lines, I feel like
I just think it's like an aspect of how the middle class is getting dunked on.
Yeah.
And I think like we literally have lost so much of our wealth since 2020. I think the number, do you have the number? I think it was like 6.7 billion.
I mean, they
was siphoned from the middle
printed,
class
well,
to the
they
1%.
printed so much money. There's several things. Yeah. I don't know the exact sum of money, but probably quite a bit.
Right. So just a little shout out to your fan base. I think your fan base is actually the most important demographic in this country right now, and I'm usually about 5 years ahead.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of also anticipating there's going to be a pushback from the angry the angry young male demographic in this country that's becoming more and more right wing.
Yeah.
And don't get too angry, guys, because you're very important. And I truly want to see this country be what it's supposed to be with a thriving middle class. And I really feel like that's you guys. That's this demographic. And
how
I
does
have no
that-
solutions for you.
How does that come back? Do you have a?
I mean, well, okay, my 2 cents.
Yep.
There's a ton of incentives to start farming in this country, and that's not going to sound sexy, and that's not going to sound appealing, but that is kind of how societies form stability.
Yeah.
Is when there's a powerful and free farming class or merchant class within a society.
Okay.
So I feel like that direction feels a lot better than this Marxist-Leninist shift that Gen Z, for the most part, is kind of caught on to. And that is not a direction that I don't think anyone will actually ever benefit from. But you guys, like, I truly mean this, as as corny as it sounds, the quote-unquote low-value young male in this country is the single most important demographic. And I'm not going to pretend like I know what it's like to be living that life, but like I do have a lot of people have a heart for it, and a lot of people want to kind of help with the solution. And if it sounds corny or unfeasible, but there's so many incentives to start farming.
Start farming, yeah. All right.
You do not need experience. You do not need even land. State of Kansas is offering up to $600,000. If you're a zero experience young person who has an aptitude and just wants to farm, especially wheat, there's going to be a wheat shortage over the next 5 to 10 years.
Really? So you could just go to Kansas, and they'll give you land, or they'll let you use the land?
They won't give you land per se. Like, you do have to have, what's the website?
So, like,
if you just Google Kansas, like Kansas farm something, I should pull it up. But there's an incentive that they will give you money. So you have to draw out your own business plan. I would, like, in my ideal future, this would be something that like a handful of young, angry guys who need something to do with their lives get together, start farming, save your money. Traditionally, historically, you are the most important person in this country, especially the yeoman farmer of England. This was the whole idea of the Jeffersonian Republic. Like, this was what it was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And we've been hijacked by elites, but like truly the vision of America is an empowered middle farming class.
I mean, I wonder if that's like, because, they're saying we're going to lose so many jobs to technology and all that. Maybe those people could go farm.
Yeah, like, I'm not a prophet. This is just, to me, the most obvious way to get young men engaged in society again. It involves physical labor. It involves discipline. It's the most valuable aspect to the society. Food prices are very high, meaning that there's an opportunity for you to come in and make money before it's completely saturated by what Gates is doing, buying up most of the farmland. So just letting you guys know, anyone interested, anyone, Google it up. It's not just Kansas. Also, there's free land for grabs all across the center of this country. There's small towns all over America. You do have to have the ability to put down a down payment on the house and build. But point is, like, young men head Midwest. There's land for you.
Which is probably
head Midwest.
Usually people head to the edges.
Nicer people.
Yeah, nicer people. All right, Andy.
Nicer people, opportunities.
Not bad advice. Not bad advice at all. I think people. I mean, again, someone Langston Industry says this here though, which he makes a good point. He says he worked on a farm. Where did he write this? Worked on a farm for 12 years. He says not something a lot of people are capable of. But, well, I bet on YouTube with the internet and everything, you probably learn how to farm. At some point, they're just like, you just have to want to do it, and because it's obviously just hard labor. But you can probably learn a lot online.
Yeah, so many people don't want to do it. There's money up for grabs.
Yeah.
And $600,000 to start like a somewhat smaller subsistence farm or a community styled farm. It has to be you're able to apply for the loan for up to 30% of the average acreage of farmland in the county.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on the county, I've kind of looked into this. If depending on the county, and if you're brand new, you would probably want to start with a smaller parcel of land, but there's money and there's help. Like, the USDA is very aware that we need more farmers, and if you have zero experience, There's people out there who want to see you succeed and thrive. So
Interesting.
we want to see. I want to see the young generation feel like they have a purpose and feel like, you know, they're valuable, which you guys are so incredibly valuable to the society. And I don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
All right, cool. Annie, thank you for calling in. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right, no problem.
All right, bye. That was Annie, everybody. Based Annie, being based. Alex B says, farming is so fun, they have a super high rate of suicide. A lot of people, yep. And Keon does this. Farmers have the highest suicide rate. So that's not good. By the way, like the stream at 100 likes. I'm going to give away a channel membership, as you can see scrolling along the bottom here. So hit that like button, and I'll give away a Scrote membership. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
What's up, Danny?
How's it going? Who am I speaking with?
Oh, man, it's good. It's good. Life can't be better.
All
I have
right.
two questions for
Yes,
you,
sir.
and then I wanted to comment a little bit on
Okay.
what the young lady was saying previously.
Sure.
I really just had the questions, and she started talking, and it got me thinking.
Are you a farmer,
One-
or do you know any farmers?
I know farmers. I'm from Mississippi, so a lot of the people around here farm.
Okay.
So yeah, big part of the economy here. But yeah, so two things first. One, when are you going to go on Joe Rogan? That's the
Whenever
first
he
question I
whenever he
wanna
asks me, whenever he
Let's
gives me the
let's hope it's
invite.
sometime soon.
Yeah.
Tell Danny to hit him up for you.
Ryan, you mean? I'm Danny.
Second, yeah. My bad. Ryan, tell
Okay.
Ryan to hit him up for you. The second question is, when are either one of y'all going to come down south and do some shows, like maybe around the Memphis area? That's kind of where I live.
Memphis. I mean, we've been. Does Nashville count, or is that like blasphemous? I mean, we've been to Nashville.
Like 2.5, 3. That's like
It's like 3 hours away. Yeah, I wasn't sure
live.
exactly how far it was from Memphis. I'm sure at some point. I'm sure there will be at some point. Yeah.
I keep watching. They got a comedy house here, a comedy club here that.
Yeah. What's it called?
I think it's called Chuckles. I think is the name of it. Chuckles Comedy House. I think is the name of it.
Memphis Chuckles Comedy House in Cordova, Tennessee. Is that the one?
Yeah, that sounds right.
I mean, people don't know this, but
Cordova is just outside of Memphis.
It is kind of like a weird thing to ask people, and it probably won't help if one of you does it, but like if a lot of people call a comedy club and they're like, we want to see this person, like they will go book that person. Like they'll bring them in because it's literally the whole their business is they just want to make sure that they're going to sell enough tickets. So if so many people are calling them being like, hey, we want to see this guy, then they might go ahead and book that person. So, and like, again, with some comedy clubs, there's just like, they've never heard of, there's a lot of comics. So sometimes they've just never heard of people. So I think honestly, you can just message or call them.
Yeah, so you think it'd be helpful to like send them an email or something like, hey,
yeah, just be like, hey, I'd like to see these people at the club sometime if you can, and they'll be like, okay, we'll put them on our radar.
Okay,
you know?
cool.
Yeah,
cool. So is that how the industry kind of works? Is like they book y'all rather than y'all booking them?
Yeah, you don't like. I mean, yeah, like essentially, it's all based off of not everywhere, but for the most part, it's like it's how many people you can get to come show up at the club. So some clubs are just like they don't like a lot of clubs will book people who aren't really draws. Most comics don't sell tickets for the most part. Like they're not like an actual draw. But so there's different ways to get in clubs. But yeah, if you can sell tickets, then that's kind of a surefire way to get in the mixed places.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, the lady, I always wonder when I hear women talk about like things men should do, and I never know if they're grifting or if they're serious.
No, Annie's based.
She was serious.
No, Annie's based. No, she probably just saw an opportunity.
Well, there's like the two extremes. There's the one lady who's like, all men are trash, this, that, and the other. And then you see the stereotypical hot chicks on Instagram or TikTok, and they're like, oh, men are so great. You go king or whatever. And I'm just like, you're saying this to make money.
You're like, it's neither. Yeah, it's neither of those things. Men are fine.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't sound like one of those.
They're not that bad and they're not that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she's got a point. Like that disaffected middle class that's shrinking. And I said this to somebody a day or two ago. I was like, capitalism is the same as guns. It's dangerous in the wrong hands and it's good in the right hands.
Of course.
And I feel like, much like guns, the elites want to keep capitalism out of the hands of the middle class because that's how the middle class has power.
Yeah.
Poor people don't have power because they're dependent.
Yeah, it is so weird with that too, though, because like it's never been. I want to say not that it's like easy to come up with an idea, but like to actually like start a business right now in America, like what everybody talks about, like the American dream, essentially, like where people are like, I came here with $5. Yeah, but it's never been easier to just like if you want to go start a business. Obviously, it's you have to have a good idea and a good business, but like to actually get off the ground, it's like it's so easy now, especially if you're these whatever disaffected people. Now again, you have to have an education to be able to do that, and that's probably like a big gap in the thing, but. Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It is a tough one. Like there's obviously like the stuff that made America.
Well, it depends on
like prosperous.
What you're trying to get into as well.
Well, but also just like I had a lot of friends when I was younger, and like this was a big obviously thing in America, in the last century, but where just like there was all these factories, and you could just have a very good existence, and housing was affordable, and like I saw someone recently on Twitter posted. They live in a New York City apartment, and they went and they requested like the rent history for their apartment, like the full rent history. And in the 80s, that apartment was like $125 a month to rent.
Wow.
And even factoring in inflation and everything, like it should be today. I think it should have been like $600 factoring everything in. So 5 times the price.
Yeah.
But it was like, she's like, it's $22, but she's like, it's $2,200 a month and it's rent controlled. So it's like, it's actually a steal. Like it would probably be $3,000 a month when it should be literally 20% of that.
Well, that's the screw in the middle class. Like, I think there's some industries that are probably, I won't say easier to get into, but like what y'all do, you have to have talent to do what y'all do, but as far as putting things on the internet, stuff like that, there's a low barrier of entry as far as
super low,
goes. But when it comes to like if you want to start a supermarket, like get fucked, you're not doing that.
No,
like,
you're not starting
a supermarket. Start a grocery store.
No.
Yeah, you're not going to do that. You're not going to be the next.
But you could ostensibly.
YouTube,
but I could see like ostensive. I mean, there's someone right now who's probably like in kind of the same domain as like a Zuckerberg, kind of like in their dorm, who's like coding the next $1 billion company, and they're just sitting at a computer doing it.
Well, but another thing too, when it comes to like tech stuff, that's hard to do because you will get shut down if you have the wrong opinions or say the wrong things. So,
sure. Yeah, I'm just talking about like
Parler,
an app or whatever. Yeah, Parler was a weird. Yeah, Parler was a weird one because they were trying to find some footing during like all that craziness. But it seems like Twitter, assuming Twitter doesn't like just hemorrhage money like to the point where they need to actually go public. But
yeah, I have my complaints about Elon, but I think him, at least for the time being, owning Twitter is a net gain.
It's amazing.
But what he's doing for space is a net gain. Like there's definitely complaints about that guy because he's a billionaire. He doesn't know how it works for the rest of us.
Yeah.
But I think he's got his ear to the door of what us poors are doing. He's kind of like, I kind of want to help them out, but then he's in his own world too. So what he does isn't always going to be beneficial to us. So,
no, and he's not altruistic. He's not trying to. Yeah, I don't think he's trying to be altruistic to that level. Like in his mind, he's trying to save the planet or something.
But in our polarized world, you can't have that conversation without you're like, oh, you're just licking his boots, or you just hate him, and there's like polarization has it where there's no in between. So,
there is. But I don't know. You just gotta sometimes just take a stance. All right, thanks for calling in. Or do you have another question?
Yeah, man. Oh no, man, that's it. I was gonna.
All right. Well, call your local comedy club and just make a ruckus until the.
Yeah, dude. I'll see if I can find an email or something on Facebook and be like, hey, get these guys.
Do it up.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, take care.
All right.
All right. Let's see where we're at in the chat arena. We had South Coast Horizon, who's a member for 1 month of the scroll. By the way, 100 likes, 17 more likes, and I will give away a channel membership. He says, I have an idea for Patreon or Twitter subs. What about buying Taylor Swift tickets and giving them away to one lucky subscriber? That's an amazing idea. They only cost, what, $2,000 a ticket? Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
Danny, hey, Jim from Washington calling.
Jim
How are you, buddy?
from Washington. How you been, man?
I'm good. I was a little disappointed. I saw Ryan coming back to Tacoma, but you're just too good to come out to your West Coast people.
I mean, if they want to book me, I'll come there. But yeah, it's too far
I'm
to
gonna
go.
start calling the comedy club, dude.
I'm telling you,
start calling them.
I don't know how much it really works, but I'm sure they're just like, people keep calling about this guy. Can't hurt. Yeah. I'll be out there at some point, I'm sure. What's up, dude?
Not much, brother. Just got back. We have a speaking of, I want to segue off what Annie said. My wife and I, we bought 5 acres about an hour south of Nelson.
Okay.
BC,
yeah, Nelson, BC. Yeah.
in Washington State.
Yeah, they used to grow tons of weed in Nelson.
Yeah, it's Nelson's a fun town for sure. It's a good time.
I think Nelson was. I can't recall if Nelson was like the weed town actually, where like people were like everything there was just all the money came from weed.
Well, I grew up in North Idaho, and if you remember, there was a time there where the cannabis kids were running weed from BC into Washington and Idaho.
Yeah,
remember that. There's actually a mockumentary. It's pretty good on Netflix called Kid Cannabis. It's worth a watch if you haven't seen it.
And it's about that.
But it's kind of, yeah. The guy who was doing it, he was like he was the head chef at the Taco Time in the mall, basically like a fast food worker. And this guy got busted with like $40 million or something insane worth of weed. It was nuts.
Wow.
Back in the day, but. Yeah, but of what Annie said, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I'm kind of developing this property to like kind of be off the grid and stuff. And she's totally right about like there's just land available in small towns, especially ones that have seen like an exodus of people because of like a mine closing or a lumber operation going under. And there's like no shortage of like cool families out where our property is doing the same thing. Like my buddy, he's an alpaca farmer next door, but he's got 4 kids. And this idea that like there's nothing out there, I don't know, like personally I have a child, and if you're trying to start a family, like a small town place is definitely better to be than in the city, in my opinion.
I agree. No, for sure. There's yeah. I definitely agree on that. So what are you farming then? What are you growing?
I'm not doing anything yet. I'm still developing the property. I've got water and power in. I've got a little tiny house out there. There's these 2 giant like slash piles, which is basically just huge leftover timber that I've been progressively burning because it's really hard. Like you mentioned, the fires, there's always burn bans on all the time. So it's tough to kind of get rid of that stuff. But
so you have to basically wait until they open it up, essentially allow for you to burn, and then you just go and burn as much of it as you can in that short window?
Pretty much. I can send you a little video. I'll DM it to you or whatever.
Yeah.
We went up there in the wintertime this last year, and there was like 10 feet of snow around us while we had this massive like 50-foot bonfire just raging. Wow. It was pretty awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you burned a lot of the wood. Do you use like to get it started, like gas and stuff?
Yeah, diesel, that kind of stuff, and road flares.
Okay.
Yeah, it's rugged, but
that's
she's
cool.
right in the sense of like, not having a lot of opportunities for middle class dudes. Like there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of places to go in the cities. I mean, would you bet long term on, places like New York and California over places like Florida? I personally wouldn't. But
yeah,
that's my attitude.
It's hard to say. Like New York, I just can't see New York going anywhere in any like capacity. Like it seems like it'll just adapt. Like in the event that people don't come back to the offices in terms of like commercial rents and things like that. Or like people never move back to New York for whatever political reasons. Like I feel like they'll still like adapt to a degree, but yeah, the quality of living in New York is not the best relative, but
it's not great.
It's not great.
Well, speaking of commercial real estate.
Yeah, but anyway, so what do you have planned? What are you going to do? Like, what's your end goal for the property? Like.
Honestly, like just individual sustained living. So like a greenhouse for our food, get some chickens going. My neighbor he's a cow. He raises cows. So we can basically do some buy and swap there. But long term, it's kind of like build a house and just kind of get off the grid. You know, we got 5 acres for about $30,000, which I know doesn't sound cheap, but
That
you know, to
sounds
get a
pretty
loan
cheap
for that,
for
you
5
need
acres.
basically.
Yeah, for 5 acres of land, that sounds pretty cheap.
It's not the worst deal in the world. You know, don't get me wrong, but like there are definitely places like Andy said where you can still get land for like $2,500 an acre. You know, you just got to go out. You got to be out there, and you know, in my mind, long term, it's just the kind of the right investment, especially if you're going to start a family, because the world's just getting kind of crazy.
But you think you'll
can
grow
take a little
something?
slice-
Do you think you'll do farming, like, or animals, like raise animals or everything? Like some.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
little
probably
bit of everything.
goats, cows, a little bit of chickens, and just kind of grow our own personal food, not necessarily like a big farm like she was kind of mentioning. It'd probably be more for personal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems
but it's-
cool. I can't. I'm not sure if I would move to do something like that, and then within 6 months being like, "What have I done?" What
You're a
have I
bugman, dude.
I am a bugman. That is true. That is very true. I am a bugman.
I was changing my own auto oil, watching that on my phone next to me, and thinking like, I'd love to see Danny try to change some fucking oil. This would be awesome.
I could change oil. I've done that before. I took, although I had an absolute meltdown in it, but I had auto shop class when I took auto shop class when I was in 9th grade, and I was not good at it. But I tried, and then I was just like, this is not for me. But I feel like I've become handier as the years have gone on, slightly. But that's the thing. For someone who's not a bug man, I'm still a bug man.
Did you have to consciously say 9th grade and not grade 9?
Correct. I did. Yeah. I have all these
Yeah.
things where I have to like Fahrenheit and Celsius and all these things. The biggest one for me, I think I've said it before, but is Z. I want to say Z. Yeah. And I like whenever I say the letter Z, like there's probably a quarter of a second pause, like every time, just because I don't want to say Z. Yeah.
3 of my sibling-in-laws are Australian. They're teenage Aussies. So like I hear it a lot. I mean, there's definitely like a crossover between the way they speak in Australia, and not necessarily an accent-wise, but just similarly in Canada.
Yeah, it's all Commonwealth.
it
It's all the Commonwealth talk.
Yeah, you fucking imperialists. Go figure.
All right, Jim.
Well, Danny, you're looking good, buddy, by the way.
Thanks, man.
You're looking good.
Thanks,
So,
man. It's
keep kicking ass. Talk to you later. Take care.
Later, Jimbo. Jim from Washington, everybody. Shout out to Gerard Perry, who got the membership. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining the show tonight. There's a good little experiment. I wanted to see how open lines will go. I think we'll just make this kind of maybe a more regular show where we have an open lines situation. Hello, thanks for calling Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Shit. I got through.
You made
It's
it.
the lowest of the value mail.
Who is this?
Fucking hard money troll.
Oh,
hard
shit.
money troll, bro.
Dude, I haven't heard from you in a minute.
Yeah. I've been kind of busy. Haven't been able to troll that Matt St. Combe very much lately, you know?
Oh, the trolling
Got
days.
some other things on my plate.
Yeah.
I was listening to you talk about all kinds of things from what angry men should do to how the industry of comedy works. I thought you just get like a really good booker and then just doors open for you. Because it isn't
that could be one way too.
Ryan's represented by the same guy that represents Tim Dillon, right?
I don't.
Does that sound right?
Maybe.
No
I
comment?
don't know for sure. I think he's like CAA
Are you
or
doing
something.
no comment mail?
No, I actually don't. I don't know the exact answer to that. I don't know for
You're
sure.
the worst opening act there ever was.
That's not nice.
I don't mean that by your comedy, you know.
Oh.
I just mean like, come on, bro.
No, I actually don't
Don't you
know.
know
I don't know
these
who
things by now?
I don't know who Tim Dillon's representation is. I don't know who his booking agent is.
I thought you were part of the Jewish cabal.
I'm not.
Is that not? Oh wait.
I'm
is
in
this
a
conspiracy
studio.
night?
I'm in a studio apartment right now. I assure you, I am If I turned my camera around, you guys would not be like, this guy is in some sort of cabal.
I love how you and Ryan have like an apartment, like a burner apartment in New York. You know?
Yeah.
You guys ever?
It's our
you ever
studio.
go there and get all those. Well, I mean, is it a studio or is it just like in a rented apartment?
It's literally a studio apartment that is like 450 square feet that is packed to the gills with equipment.
Okay, but you gotta admit how that's kind of deceptive, right? You said you're in the studio when it's really a studio apartment.
No, it is. It's both. It's a studio apartment, but it is also our studio. Nobody lives here. It's just a
only by definition, though. All right, I feel like we're agreeing on the same thing. That you are, in fact, renting out a place somebody in New York could be living in.
I mean, in New York City, anybody can live anywhere, dude.
And they do.
Yeah.
And they do. Yeah, I spent a lot of time working in San Francisco, and it is unpleasant there.
Right now?
Every day. Every day, so I usually go...
Like, is it? Because honestly, I honestly tend to want to, like, when I see stuff on the news and shit, I'll be like, it's not that bad, is it? Like, I always want to say, like, is it as bad as it's portrayed?
Honestly, sometimes I think the news, like, I feel like there's a little bit of, like, reverse gaslighting, where it's like, come on, the liberal stronghold isn't that bad, but, like, I work at this theater called the Masonic. It's a nice theater on the top of Nob Hill, which for those who don't know, San Francisco is like the higher ground that's historically been like the nicer area.
Yep.
And it's pretty close to the downtown area. So once you go down that hill, and in fact, any way in or out of like the main thoroughfares of going to that theater, you see 2 to 3 tragedies every time you like drive up there. So I think it's a
what do
little
you mean
bit
by
of,
tragedy?
Like
like someone's dead? Like a dead person?
You know, it's not like you're shaking every passed out person to see if they're dead. I mean, I assume some of them are passed out on drugs and some of them are actually dead.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, I feel like you're just describing what like East Hastings in Vancouver was like 20 years ago.
And you know what? If we're gonna be perfectly honest, the whole Bay Area is kind of a shithole right now. Except where Matt St. Combe lives. He lives on this nice hill, and he has like a shrimp
Sounds like
farm.
you've been stalking him a little bit.
Desk. No, we're good. We're friends. Don't worry about that. He doesn't know who I am, but we're friends.
Something a stalker would say.
Or whatever.
Yeah,
totally. Wait, I think this is the longest you've ever talked to me. Usually you're trying to, get me off the phone quickly. What's up?
That's not true. It's open lines.
Yeah, it is.
No, I just try and keep the show moving along generally when it's like there's a guest or something, just topic-wise. But it's open lines today.
Are you going to be at the San Jose show?
No.
No?
No. When's the San Jose show?
Then. When's the Danny P tour?
I'm working on it.
It's about time you break away from this Ryan character.
I'm working on it. Well, the thing is, I like going on tour with Ryan. It's a hoot and it's a fun time. But I want to headline myself too, and you can't have 2 headliners. That's essentially what the issue is. So,
you can have 2 headliners.
Jesus
what are you talking about? I'm smoking weed, dude. It's illegal where I'm at. Is it legal in New York yet?
No,
are you guys smoking legal. Weed yet?
It's super legal here. What do you mean?
My girlfriend's friend from South Carolina is in town, and they don't even have like medical or anything. So like
they're going to town. There must be like 1,000 dispensaries right now in New York City, and I believe 2 of them are actually legal.
I'd rather go to the not legal ones if I'm being
the only thing is sometimes I get oil pens or whatever, like the disposable like weed pens, and I feel like if you get them from like a legal source, then they're actually tested, whereas these ones I'm just not like I'm rolling the dice with my life or anything, but I would like to know if they're just
here when you go to like the clubs, you end up paying like 30% tax at the door.
Yeah, I understand.
It's pretty fucking wild.
Oh yeah, I understand. There's tax. That's I get that, but
I get most of my stuff. Oh, now you quit?
No, I mean I smoke weed here and there, but I'm not like crazy where it's. I don't care about paying an extra 30% because I'm just like not that frequent. You know, like it's a few bucks, like it's $10 like a month or something. Like,
all right. Well, you've been very kind to talking to me.
All right, later, Hard Money Troll. Get
back to the show. Hey, one last thing before I go though.
Yeah.
I just wanted to shout out that fucking wimp, Matt St. Combe.
Nobody knows who he is.
Late brother.
All right.
He's the host of Hard Money's $1 Million podcast, and it's a podcast Danny was on. For those who know.
Yeah, I did a few episodes during COVID, and we talked about NFTs.
I like how you're trying to distance yourself from this.
What do you mean?
I was Ponzi scheme.
No. We did some NFT stuff, and I had a few episodes. I don't think I did that many episodes of it, to be honest. And it was all on that. All right, Hard Money Troll. Thanks for calling in.
Well, hey, how much money are you down in your Topps NFTs?
I never owned any of them, but I can't imagine they are worth a fucking penny right now. And I think those guys dropped 6 figures on them, but I don't think they're worth. I can't imagine they're worth 1 penny right now.
6 figures.
Literally, they spent 6 figures on them, and I don't think. Honestly, I completely even forgot those things existed until you just brought them up, and I would have to guess
bro, that's why it's time to buy, bro.
I'm gonna go look at them.
Marchand.
Dude, right when I get off of here, I'm gonna go see how much those are worth. All right, later, Hard Money Troll.
I'll put it on. All right, fuck off.
Hard Money Troll, everybody. Yeah, our friend, his idea, there was Topps baseball card company, and they had these NFTs. I really do. They spent, I'm not even exaggerating, they put a fund together. He went and got all his buddies, and they fucking dropped 6 figures on these fucking NFTs that must be worth a zero right now. Hello, thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
Hey, Danny. This is Liam calling from Texas.
Liam from Texas. How you doing, sir?
Hey, doing all right, man. Hey, I had kind of a fun story from when I was studying abroad in Europe.
Sure, go ahead.
All right. So we had this 10-day trip. It's exactly what it sounds like. We have 10 days to kind of, do our thing, go wherever we kind of wanted. So a lot of people would hit multiple spots in Europe.
Where were you?
2 days.
Where were you?
We were. So the campus was right outside of Rome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It really beautiful, like a vineyard campus. Yeah, so nice. Anyways, so our first stop was Innsbruck, which is in Austria. I guess they had like the Winter Olympics there in like 1970 or something like that, but. Cool, kind of like little half German, half like Italian town, but like more on the German side.
Okay.
And so we were, it was like me and like 4 of my friends. We went out, we were drinking, like our first night there, and we got like pretty drunk. And as we were leaving one of the bars, it was like 2 of my friends started like kind of like scuffling. It was like over something dumb. It was, something that he like hit his hat, or he like hid his hat, and then he like showed him that he had it. And then my one friend got really, really mad.
Okay.
And then so we were walking back to the hostel, and they're really mad at each other. So they're kind of going back and forth and like kind of like scuffling. And then as we're walking back, it kind of breaks out into like an actual fight. And so my one friend is with them, and he's kind of smaller, and he's trying to break them up. And he goes, oh, hey, help. And then our big friend, who was like a big guy, he came over, he grabbed one of them who was fighting, and he picked him up, and he like threw him against the wall, like pretty hard.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, the wall was a window to a jewelry store.
Oh, wow.
So he just smashed right through the window and like landed like right in like a display case with like all this like jewelry and everything. And so, yeah. And so it was like, all this glass shattered everywhere. Like, there was no like alarm that went off. And so we were like, we got to go. So we just like take off and we start running, and, pretty drugged. So we only get about like a block or two, and then we're like, all right, I think we're okay. And like my friend's covered in blood because like the glass like shattered all over him, and you know, he's like dripping in blood. And my other friend feels bad now, the one who was fighting him, so he's comforting him, and then basically and then the third friend who was trying to break up the fight, he's like, hey guys, we gotta move. Like, we just smashed the window of their jewelry store. Like, this is bad. And we're like, you're paranoid. Shut up. Like, we're fine. And he was like, screw you guys. And then so basically he like walked off and like kind of got ahead of us and was going to go back to the hostel.
Okay.
And then we're walking, and then a van pulls around the corner, like as we're all kind of like congregating. And like it was like kind of like a movie. Like the doors open up and like 8 cops like hop out, and they're all like there. They have vests on. You know, they're all like strapped and everything, and they're like surrounding us. And we're in like Innsbruck, like dumb fucking American tourists, and just it was like, oh
and
no.
One of you is covered in blood.
Yeah, and no, yeah, he's completely covered in cuts. He's like dripping blood. And then so the cops are like, they start to like question us. They're like, oh, like, what are you guys doing? Like, why are you guys here? And they're like, very like making it very clear that like we're not allowed to leave. They're stopping us. And like, so my friends, like, we're still super drunk. At this point, I've kind of sobered up a bit enough to be like, this is a fuck situation. And my friend is trying to convince the cop that like, he's like, no. First we fight. Now we friends. And he's like hugging him as he does it.
Yeah.
And like the cops are just, all right. So then they're like, they each gave us our own squad car. Like, they're like, get in. I'm like, I don't know these guys. I've never seen them before. They're like, no, you need to get into the car. I'm like, God damn it. So then they took us to prison. Or they're not prison, but they took us to their jail.
Yeah.
Like, where
this
we're
is like outside of
gonna
Rome.
get booked. This is like in Austria.
Oh, this is in Austria.
So this is like the start of our trip. So like we're very scared because we're away. This is like outside of like kind of our administration's reach. Like,
right, you guys are like just
here,
super
like we're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like we can't go back to the program. Like it's over. It's done. Yeah, and so we were basically so first they questioned my friend who was covered in cuts and covered in blood. And then, they're like, what happened? He's like, me and my friend fought. He threw me through the window. And then, they bring in my friend who threw him through the window. And then they go, like, okay, what happened? He's like, well, they were in a fight and I threw him through the window. So they're like, okay, the stories match up. And then they were like, all right, well, you guys need to pay for so they were just basically questioning us to make sure we didn't steal anything.
Yeah.
And then they were like, okay, well, somebody needs to pay for the window. And so we're like, okay. And then so then basically, like, we were just sitting there. They were like, all right. My one buddy is like, he had to get his parents to wire like $500, like 500 euro over. But as he was going back to the hostel, like, and the cops escorted him. And at that moment, my other friend who has been gone this entire time, who walked up at the very beginning of the story, he's at the hostel. And he saw us all get arrested. He's like freaking the fuck out. He's like, "Oh my God, like what the fuck?" And then, the police escort came with my other buddy to pick up their bribe. Basically, we were just paying them. They were like 500 euro. We were paying them a bribe so that we didn't get like thrown in.
Essentially, just in jail.
Austrian jail.
Yeah, which is honestly, that is money well spent right there. That's
100%.
500 euros. That's a steal.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, like, so grateful that like we had a friend who like had parents who his parents, like his mom's like a pediatrician, so he's like pretty well off. It was just like we were in the right place, like, or with the right people at the right time. But my other friend, he's on the phone with his parents, and this is my friend who I grew up with, so his parents know my parents. So then the cops came. He's like, they're looking for me, I have to go, like, take it. And he hangs up. And so anyways, he pays the bribe, we get out of jail, we go back, and then like literally the next day, my dad messaged me on Facebook. He said, "What is happening over there?" I'm like, how does he already know?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was
it all worked out though in the end.
Yeah, then we just kind of continue our 10-day. We went to what was it called? Oh, Auschwitz. We went to Auschwitz.
Yeah.
And then we yeah, then we finished off in Munich.
Cool. That's a cool story.
Yep,
Yeah,
it
that's
was
I mean, definitely avoid getting arrested in foreign countries as much as possible.
The cops there are they're dicks, and like they like
they're
don't
probably
care at all that you're
extra
American.
dicks. Yeah, they're probably more
Like,
of a dick.
they
if
get
you're
like a
American.
kick out of it.
Yeah, they're like,
oh yeah,
because they think that Americans are coming over there and like don't care about the laws because Americans are just like so full of themselves. So they're probably like even more dicks about just that fact that they're like, we're coming over here and committing crimes and stuff.
Yeah, we totally deserved it. I mean,
yeah.
definitely.
No, definitely,
But, yeah. But yeah,
cool.
you know, but yeah, man. Anyways, you know, don't smash your friends through jewelry store windows.
Be careful.
That's the moral of the story.
Everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks, man. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, man.
All right. That was yeah. That is it's a wild story. Someone just asked, by the way, XClepX. So is low value male covering female dating strategy officially dead? Hasn't popped in my Spotify forever. So no, the answer is no. It's not dead. Basically what the deal is for anybody who wants the female dating strategy stuff. Although I do owe, and I will be doing one soon, a new stream soon. But basically, the live streams are open for everybody. If you want to watch the live streams, I post them. You can watch them. After the live stream's over, it goes unlisted. And the audio goes up on Patreon. So if you want to listen to it, if you want to support the show, $5 a month, and you get access to the female dating strategy audio, the video for all the new ones, all sorts of perks, but that's just one of them because I honestly hate fucking doing it. And but we're gonna catch up soon because they're slacking. I think they are kind of slacking, or they're really slacking on YouTube. I actually looked on Spotify, and there's more episodes on Spotify than YouTube. All right, we got a call. Hello, thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
Hello.
Hey, who am I speaking with? You are on the show.
Oh, cool. This is Kyle. Yeah, I didn't think I'd get through so quickly.
Oh, well, you got through. Kyle, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Oregon right now. I'm about 20 minutes from the shithole that is Portland.
Oh, okay. Nice. I've never been to Portland.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend. Save your money.
All right. Maybe one day.
Well, yeah, I was calling because I had a great story about, you know that meme where it's like, oh, dude, they found my Twitter, and like they're like, oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've actually lived it, and I was in grad school trying to earn my doctorate in clinical psychology, and someone found my Twitter, and it got me kicked out of my program.
What? Are you serious? Your Twitter was anonymous?
Yeah, it's a... no.
Oh, like you just had your name and face and stuff?
Yeah, so I made it in 2013 when I was in like 8th grade.
Gotcha.
And then just kind of periodically went on and off of it for a while. And when I moved to Oregon, it was actually I moved here in 2020 to go to grad school, and it was one of the only things I could actually do during the lockdowns. Like they had a 10 o'clock curfew for businesses to be shut down and people to be home. So there really wasn't much to do. And I was in grad school, so I had some free time on my hands. And yeah, I mean, I identify as, you know, I'm a Catholic, conservative, kind of right-leaning person.
Okay.
And so for me, you know, I went to, it was a Quaker Christian school here in Oregon. And so I went there thinking, you know, it's Oregon, but it's still kind of Christian roots, so hopefully they still have some kind of conservatism left in them and how they handle themselves. And yeah, that was definitely.
And why did they find your tweets? And then also, what were the tweets?
Okay, yeah. So the tweets, that's a whole other side of things. So first off, I was in something what's called a practicum. So basically, you pay to work for free doing actual clinical psychology work. And so I was working with people who had like severe OCD, like couldn't leave the house, severe OCD. And so we were doing like Zoom stuff. And I worked for them Monday, Tuesday. I was in class Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so someone from, and they never told me who it was, someone from that practicum site because it's a business in and of itself that's outside of the school. And they presented the tweets to them, and they were like, yeah, like, how could you hire someone who's like this terrible person? So I'm ready. So I'm in a meeting, and this was 2022, right after Thanksgiving break, when everyone kind of comes back to that Monday, a little hungover from the weekend. And I'm in a meeting, and the meeting, you're kind of walking through what you're going to do with the clients. And I'm presenting on what I'm going to do, and I get a message from my supervisor. He's like, hey, can you, and all this is through Zoom. He's like, hey, can you come to my private, chat thing? And I'm like, yeah, sure, fine. Thinking he's going to talk to me about a client.
Yeah.
And basically goes through the whole, we found your Twitter, and you're no longer working for us. You're suspended immediately. We're sending all of this to your school. Your school's going to handle it. You are no longer affiliated with us. And then I found this out later. They proceeded to send out an email to everyone that worked at that company, including there was 3 other classmates of mine who were also working there, that I was fired for discrimination.
All right. So what were the tweets here? Everybody wants to know. What were the...
Okay, all right.
Is your Twitter still up?
So, oh God, no! I deleted that thing.
All right.
I deleted it the second that meeting ended, and then I called my school. But yeah, I would say it ranged from anywhere of just, throwing out whatever dumb thoughts came to mind as I'm sitting on the couch having a beer.
Yeah.
To, political discussions to, downright trollery. So
Okay.
it was a huge mix of a bunch of stuff.
But what was the thing that they said
and
that you got, like, did you drop any N-bombs? Was there racism? Was there
I got called
anti-Semitism?
So they were saying that it was anti-LGBTQ stuff, which, it's 2023, so that's just kind of par for the course.
Yeah. Well, I imagine that healthcare profession, that's like, you probably can't, like, overtly be saying that stuff, as opposed to, like, I guess maybe other professions where it's
right.
less important.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, like, I don't have any, there's no, like, my life has totally been derailed. I mean, I have a job, and, my girlfriend's still with me, and like, I'm sitting next to her dog right now. We're in the car waiting for some food.
And you got kicked out of your actual school, or no?
Yeah, I got kicked out of the program.
You got kicked out of the program, but then you were at a different school, though, right? They said the school was going to deal with it. Did they kick you out?
So the program, yeah. So the practicum fired me.
Yeah.
And the program is my school, and they were basically like, okay, well, this is a big ordeal. Like, we're going to have to handle this internally. It went from like, oh, this is just an investigation, we have your back, to a meeting that I had with 2 professors where, and I was going to mention this earlier, they had a 1-inch manila envelope folder that was screenshots. There was 3 screenshots on each page. The person who got them cropped each tweet that they found it offensive, and then put them on a Microsoft Word document and printed them out.
And there was a whole
saved them all, and it was
envelope full of
There's
offensive
a whole envelope
tweets.
that they hand me, and they go, read. And before too, they're like they're playing this bullshit game of like, so do you have social media? And I'm like, well, as a matter of fact, I do have social media. What social media do you normally traffic on? And I'm like, okay, I was in trouble in middle school. Like, I know what you're doing right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is just let's be adults here. And so I finally say, I'm vocal on Twitter, and that's probably the only social media platform that I was actually vocal on. And they were like, okay, well, is this you? And I'm like, oh, yep, that is me. And they're like, okay, well, how do you think people would take this if they were reading it? And I go, well, I think it would depend on the person. I could talk to a variety of different people, and they would have a different take on it. So I don't really know what you mean.
Yeah. Did you put in your bio that like retweets are not endorsements to basically that thing?
Yeah. No. Yeah. And so like, it just, for me, it was like, it was just a lot of hoopla. But like, for one of them, they had I talked to a young man at a bar one night, and he had talked about how he was so afraid of what's happened with the hashtag #MeToo movement that he's just completely abstained from dating, period. Like, he's petrified of, and he was 19 years old, a good-looking kid, athletic, and I was like, so you're petrified of dating because you'd be in such fear of being accused of sexual assault that it just takes you out of the dating pool completely. And he's like, yeah. So I go on Twitter and I say, I just saw the effects of the hashtag Me Too movement on young men, and it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Right. So that might be just an example. One of the random thoughts.
A little vague too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, why is this even here? Why is this even a concern?
I'm gonna say I think I know the
then,
answer to this question, but maybe I'm wrong. But how many followers did you have on Twitter?
Oh, dude, I have like 700. I didn't have any.
Yeah, not that many. And I imagine you had like you basically. I can't imagine that there was literally any benefit to you from doing this.
Oh no. Other than the fact that I just got to troll people.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess if you're trolling in the commenting,
I'm
but yeah, like I guess
well,
if it's
and
like
for me too, like I'm a really big political junkie, and so that was where I got, not most of my news, but like leads for.
No,
news,
that's where I get. I
get
a majority of my news today.
Right.
All right. So
right. And
so what now? So what now? People are calling. They say it's a little. We're getting a little long in the tooth here. So what's the deal now?
Okay. Definitely, yeah. So now I was doing behavior therapy with kids with autism before I went to school, after college, and so I just kind of went back to that. And so I'm working with kids who, I mean, these are kids that are so severely disabled by their autism that it's, it's heartbreaking. I work with one kid. He's 6'5", 250 pounds, 18 years old, and has the intellectual capacity, I would say, around like 11, 12.
Okay.
And we just hang out and we play hangman all day, dude.
That's cool. And he doesn't know how to get on Twitter?
Oh, thankfully not. No.
Oh, okay. So that's I guess that's a win there. So I guess it kind of worked out in the end, but yeah, crazy story. Thank you for calling.
No, not at all. I'm still putting on.
I mean, it's a good cautionary tale for people. But yeah, thanks for calling the show.
Exactly. And that's why I called.
All right. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Take care. I was honestly thinking about it because, like, I know a lot of comics who have this app that'll delete all your tweets that are older than a year. Because at some point you go like, me having a tweet up older than a year, there's absolutely zero upside. Like literally zero upside to just keeping up old tweets. The potential downside is who knows. Nobody knows. So anyways, thanks very much for all of you currently hanging out for open lines. 26 more likes and I will give away another Scrote membership on the show. I'm not sure about if we're going to do an after show tonight because I feel like this is kind of after show-ish vibe, but maybe we will. I don't know. What do you guys think? You can almost you can let me know. Let's see what's going on in the chat right now. And again, the phone lines are open. The Goop says, finally, the bigot is off the phone. And if you'd like to get one of these fancy wrenches beside your name, so you can sign up for the Patreon or join the channel. And we shall make that happen for you. So it's very exciting. Oh, you know what? There we go. Alex B., you are now a standard moderator. Congratulations to Alex B. For the mod rights. Just catching up, seeing what's going on here in the chat. People are... Stream is being loved and he doesn't want to do after show. No, I'm going to do the after show. Yeah, we're going to watch clips. I was, a part of me was like, is this too similar? But no, it's not. So we are going to do an after show, as always, if you want to hang. Oh, darn it. I can't. You know what? Yeah, whatever. I'll figure it out in the after show. But I made, because last week everybody was complaining that there was no music on the hold song or whatever. There was or not hold song. There's like a hold screen while I kind of just in between shows. So I made it today, but then I didn't upload it. So there'll be a moment where I have to upload it, and it doesn't matter. What do any of you care about? All right, the phone lines are open, everybody. One 888-949-2969. That number is going to be changing too because Zoom has been making my life. So I signed up for this 800 number. This is honestly, you can chalk this up to nobody gives a shit, but I'm going to say it anyways. But anyway, so I got this 800 number from Zoom, which is a cool service. You can just get your own 800 number. I signed up the wrong way. So then they've been charging me per minute for every phone call that I receive. So then I got this bill for the last 2 months, which is way higher than what it's supposed to be. So then I call them, and they have no customer service, so it's all through email. I'm not even exaggerating. For over the last month, I have been trying to schedule a phone call with them, and they'll email you back and forth. It's like they're purposely trying to frustrate you. So then it sounds like, because I can't get on the phone with someone to help me with this, that I'm just gonna have to cancel this number, and then the odds of me getting this number back are almost next to nothing. So, Great Restart says, can you get Dan Margera on? Unfortunately. Alex B says, sounds like a pretty low value move. Well done. Don't even pay the bill. That's not an option to not pay the bill to Zoom, because then they just will stop my service, and then I will not have a 888 number. You can't ban people with these standard mod things, can you? I don't know. Iman Rasu says, I imagine Danny has Israel flag pillowcases. I do not have Israel flag pillowcases. I've been to Israel before. It was all right. Will I go back? Maybe one day. It's nice beaches, I guess. But no, I don't. But anyways, it's the whole Zoom thing is pissing me off. I don't know if people really should care, but yeah. So anyways, we will be doing an after show at somewhere around the 11 o'clock mark. I have a song set up. I have, and by the way, shout out to everybody watching over on Rumble. I appreciate you all. And again, the phone lines are open lines. I feel like this has been a pretty good show. So at least in the future, I know that if someone bails on us, we'll be able to do this, and then all is fine. Because there was, I wasn't sure. Sometimes you never know. I know some people like to watch, but they don't like to call in, and just that's what. So, anyways, the Great Restart wants to be God Mod. You will not be God Mod. I don't even know if there's such a thing as God Mod. Someone's saying, "Oh, charge back your credit card." I actually pay on PayPal, but even still, I don't want to do that because I want the 800 number. So if I charge back my credit card, if I were to do that, then when I went to go make a new 800 number, they would be like, we don't want your business. And that's not what I'm trying to do here. I just want the normal plan that I thought I signed up for. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Good. Who's speaking?
What's up? This is Young Coconut.
Young Coconut.
Yeah.
Cool. Where are you calling from, Young Coconut?
Pardon me?
I said, where are you calling from? You sound like you might be masturbating or you're just out of breath.
No, I was just lifting, pump and iron.
Oh, nice. Okay. I like that. I like that people will exercise while watching the show.
I was riding the stationary bike, and I'm like, and then you mentioned the music, and I'm like, I wonder if he remembers me, because I sent you some music one time.
What was the music?
It was
refresh my memory. You sent
kind of random.
You emailed it to me?
It was like, yeah, it was like this. It was like when you were kind of debating what theme song to have.
Oh, so this is like at the very beginning. I'm searching my email right now for Young Coconut.
Yeah, it's not like you'd remember.
D Timberwolf.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah, of course. Yeah. No. That I do remember.
Okay.
You had didn't you make something with Jordan Peterson or something? A song that had a mix of Jordan Peterson related. Yeah, here's the song.
No, there was a guy with like a kind of coffee ad voice that did sort of a spoken word like a poem.
Oh, right, the low value.
Kind of wave.
Yeah. I have one song here that's called AIDS Croc. That wasn't it, though, right?
Yeah, I tried to send you AIDS Croc too because I'm a musician, and I'm like, I just was like, I think Danny would like AIDS Croc, and I just sent it. I'm like, yo, Here's AIDS Croc.
Okay. Should we listen to AIDS Croc?
Man, if you want to listen to AIDS Croc, it's like it might give you AIDS, but
I don't want to get AIDS.
Well, just
speaking of AIDS,
mentally it might.
Speaking of AIDS, I don't know if anybody
It'll
caught
it'll just be HIV.
We were talking a lot about AIDS last night on Legion of Skanks. I was on Legion of Skanks with Martin Shkreli and Shane Gillis.
Oh, yeah?
Shane Gillis, and Shane was not happy with Martin for jacking up the price of AIDS drugs.
So there's like a bit of an AIDS scandal.
It was a bit of a scandal, yeah. I think the episode will be out. I'm trying to find how I can play this here. Media file. All right.
No, I mean, like, I didn't call into try to simp for plays. I just actually never called in before.
No, simp away, sir.
But if I must, I must.
Yeah.
So, I just haven't called in. So I'm like, I think the phone lines, because you said phone lines are open. I'm like, I don't think anyone's calling right now. And I'm like,
yeah, we had a lot of callers at the beginning, but
/exercising.
Yeah, so it's
Pardon?
Yeah, we had a lot of callers at the beginning, but so I found Joe doing the show that I hope people aren't hearing AIDS crop.
Let's hope not.
Blaring. But I found through doing this show that when there was more of like a topic, it was like the more callers and kind of better callers, but whatever. Open lines are fine to do from time to time. I will try and play AIDS Croc, even though I could not hear it. So I don't know if it'll work.
Well, I was just going to ask, did you have a guest? I just totally missed the guest.
Yes, I was supposed to have this evening on the show Gordon from Those Conspiracy Guys podcast, which is like a pretty popular conspiracy podcast. He's from Ireland, and he literally like at 2 hours before the show, he's like I'm feeling really sick, and he had to bail.
Oh, shit.
So not enough time for me to book a new guest. So yeah.
What was he going to talk about?
We're going to talk about Charles Manson. He had a whole thing on Charles Manson planned. Yeah, Charles Manson, and there was one other thing. I can't remember what it was. Charles Manson. Oh, and Oppenheimer. We're going to do some stuff on Oppenheimer. Nice. But anyways, he'll be back on. We're just rescheduling. It's not like a cancellation. Yeah. And then also, so for people next week on Low Value Mail, I got the chemtrails guy actually.
Great.
What are your thoughts about chemtrails, Mr. Coconut?
Well, I had a friend like maybe 10 years ago that was like, or 15 years ago even. He's like Mr. Chemtrails, this guy from where I live, like around KW.
Yeah.
In Ontario, which is sort of close to where I think you.
Yeah, I used to live.
You grew up or whatever?
Well, I grew up near KW, but I went to school at Guelph. Ryan and I both went to school at Guelph.
Oh, did you? Yeah,
Yes.
I thought you guys went to university there or something.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
But he was like Mr. Chemtrails, going on about it forever and just being like, why doesn't anyone see? And, that there's chemtrails. And basically everyone just stopped talking to him for like 10 years. And in recent times, like he came back into fashion because he's like, everyone's like, maybe all these conspiracies are kind of true. So then now he's more popular. Like he's a popular guy. Like he was getting shunned by everyone he knew, and now he's got a whole new fan base.
He's kind of come back. Interesting. Yeah. See, the chemtrails one was the one where I never like everybody. Like it seemed like the just kooky conspiracy thing. But the guy coming on, his name's Matt Landman. He's been on in the last 12 months. He was on Coast to Coast. And he's like, he's like an expert in chemtrails, I guess. He's like a big chemtrail guy. So, I mean, it wouldn't be a conspiracy show without Coast to Coast AM, the radio show. But it wouldn't be, wouldn't be a conspiracy show without one time having a chemtrails guy on. I just feel like it's just needed.
Yeah, I think it's like a staple of the conspiracy realm, you know.
It's such an OG conspiracy thing too, and I honestly
it's
don't.
OG.
Yeah. And I know, so like the thing is, I know about a lot of these, or not a lot of them, but some of the conspiracies, like I know about them, but I don't really like know about them. So I like kind of bringing these guys on. They can almost explain it to me. It's almost like I'm learning about this stuff
you just forget
alongside but I'm like learning about this stuff alongside everybody else, almost to a degree. So
yeah,
anyways.
Yeah, because the one you had on like the guy that was talking about, it was like a flat Earth guy, I think.
Flat Earth Dave. Yeah, Flat Earth Dave.
Yeah, that whole thing. And like I was like not aware of how because I've looked at some of these like JPEGs of the maps, you know, like where it's like there's where we live and then it goes out, like there's like a huge map with like, you know, 50 different Earths on it.
Yeah.
Have you seen those or?
They think that there's like it's all islands, like if there's like an ice wall essentially like around the Earth, and then once you get past it, there's like almost like an archipelago or some sort of thing where there's just lots of other shit. Yeah. So
yeah, I've seen those pictures, and I find it interesting that like someone is like, I guess if he's cashing in on it or he's like, he's
cleaning up. Oops. He
wants to be the guy that knows about all the
well,
it's like
he has
map,
his app.
like,
he has an app with 100,000 paid subscribers on it, so he's like legit.
Yeah.
He's making.
Yeah, because like I have this, just as this sort of a random segue, like I have this Redbubble account, which has like nothing but like pilfered content on it.
Okay.
It does okay. Like people buy stuff from it all the time, but it's all just copyright infringing like stuff.
You sell copyright protected stuff?
Like almost exclusively, yeah.
Okay. I don't even know what Redbubble is.
Redbubble is just some merch store that like does like print on demand.
Oh, you just sell like shirts and like clothing, you mean?
Yeah, basically clothing is like stickers, shirts.
Oh yeah. I actually just bought. A couple years ago, a couple episodes ago on the after show, we were watching all this like Canadian stuff, old Canadian shows, and we watched. You ever seen that show, Hilarious House of Frightenstein?
I
Depends
think
how old are you?
On your...
Yeah, I showed it anyways, and I bought a shirt, a Hilarious House of Frightenstein shirt, from
off Redbubble.
No, I think it was T Public or whatever. Same thing though, right?
Yeah, same.
And then,
yeah,
but it was legitimately like these people who I'm buying them from, they don't own this. They're not.
No, for sure. Like I have like.
This.
Yeah, like I have a section on like SCTV, and those shirts sell pretty regularly. Like
yeah, I mean, I guess it's
SCTV,
slightly similar to, not that similar, but it's like how the Grateful Dead, like they actually encourage people to just make their own shirts and stuff, and they won't get in the way of it. Like, there's some people who have like huge businesses, and all they do is they just sell Grateful Dead merch, and Grateful Dead's like fine with it.
Yeah, I mean that would be a good one, yeah, for sure, because it's just a style of art, right? It's like there's like a style to it.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways,
Yeah.
all right. Well, cool. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'll see if I can play AIDS Croc.
Oh, please do.
All right, later.
All right, back.
Young Coconut, everyone. Young Coconut. I have so many voicemails. Should I play the voicemails? So many voicemails. Oh, they're old though. I should just delete them all. I don't have any recent voicemails. Someone says, Danny, I would love to call in and complain about stuff. All right. I'll go for it. R word, it says parody. In response to the shirt, I don't think it's parody. Oh, you guys hear the music? It hasn't actually been playing the music, has it? AIDS Croc? I tried to... Did you guys hear AIDS Croc playing the whole time? Yes, Naomi. So Naomi says, so do you, Danny. The All Flimmets logo is no fear. But yes, that is actually protected under satire or parody or whatever, because I transformed it into something else. This Hilarious House of Frightenstein is they just made merch, and there's no fear would never be able to have like a lawsuit against me because it's transformative. Whereas this is just, nobody's making merch for Hilarious House of Frightenstein. So some people are like, you know what? It must be the tiniest niche of people who want to buy these things. And someone just kind of stepped in to do that. But, oh yeah, you did hear it for 10 seconds. So that's weird because I could not hear it at all. Yeah, I couldn't hear it. I saw it playing though. Like I saw the thing playing. Do we want to listen to Young? I guess there's no point of playing it though if I can't hear it. Right, that seems kind of stupid. Maybe we'll do it in the after show. And again, the after show is going to start at 11 o'clock. If you want to sign up, become a patron or a channel, join the channel. By the way, at 150 likes, are we there yet? Oh, 3 likes away. I'm going to give away a Scrote membership. $5 value. Wow. $5 in your pocket. Cannot be converted to cash. So don't try to do that, but hit that like button. And all right, we got another caller here. Hello. Thanks for calling Low Value Mail.
Danny, what's up? It's we'll go with Kelly.
Kelly, how you doing, sir?
You know, I was good, but I mentioned in the chat I want to call in and complain.
Yep.
So I like audiobooks. I know that makes me like a bug man or whatever.
I like audiobooks too.
But
You think that makes you more of a bug man than reading, like paper?
Well, the thing is, I read the book and then I have the audiobook like 1 or 2 chapters behind while I sleep.
So you read the book.
Is,
wait. So you read the book, like, so you'll start reading, say, a book. You'll read the first 2 chapters of it. That's the first thing you do. You read 2 chapters of the book, and then when you go to bed that night, you put on those 2 chapters to listen to as you sleep. It's like to subliminally.
No. It's more like I just set a sleep timer for half hour, and then it's kind of nice to hear how the reader like narrates it. It's different than you would probably go through in your head.
Okay. I actually, one time I heard someone on a podcast say it, and I tried to do it, where I got an audiobook and then I had the physical book, and then I was just trying to read as I heard the person, basically, like I had the book as they were reading the book. But then I guess versions of books change, and it was not the right version. So then at one point you're like, oh, this is a different book now. It was pretty annoying.
Yeah, sometimes they'll do that where they'll take out a few words, but I find when I do that, I end up reading ahead. That's why I have this system.
Okay.
But the reason I'm calling in, because like I'm reading this series, it's got 11 books in it, and it's separated into like 3 separate series within the series, like Star Wars, how there's the prequels, the regular, and the sequels.
Okay.
But for the final segment of this series, they changed the fucking narrator. Like, I was just like starting to get over the fact that this guy's got like a southern accent, and I'm like, you know what? This George Goodell guy, he's really good. I really like him. Finally, I go up, I'm about to download the next one in the series because I'm about to buy the book.
Yeah.
I realize it's got a different narrator, and he sounds completely different. And I'm like, it pissed me the fuck off.
Did he die?
No, he's still alive. Apparently, he's still recording books.
He just didn't want to do this one book?
He didn't want to do the last 4 in like an 11-part series. But when you do 1 through 8 or whatever, you think you kind of have a commitment.
Is he the author of the book, or is he just the guy they hired to read
He's
them?
not the author. No, he's like a really prolific guy. It's George Goodell. He won an award for like most audio narrator books.
So that's what he does professionally. He professionally narrates audiobooks. George Goodell?
George Goodell.
How do you spell that? Like Goodell? Like
I'll copy and paste it. Guidall.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. No, he's listed as a narrator. Like, his job is narrator.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what he does. So that's a contract dispute. That's like he probably wanted a certain amount of money, and they're just like, yeah, we don't want to do that for these last ones. So I feel like not to take his side, but I think that's maybe what happened there.
I mean, but it's like insult to injury, Danny. All these other books cost like $12.99 Canadian, but the last 4 in the series are $24.99.
Oof.
It's double the price.
It's the inflation right there. And they didn't even get him?
No, I know, right?
It sounds like I'm talking to Jordan.
That's what it is.
Are you from near where Jordan Peterson's from? I'm going to hold on a second. I just want to know.
I am from Alberta.
Are you from where?
He's a bit farther north than I am.
Oh, okay.
I'm from Edmonton.
You're from Edmonton, okay. Because there was a second there where he was like, man, you sound exactly like Jordan Peterson. Have you ever got that before?
It's just when we get pissed off.
It says actually he's born in Edmonton.
No.
Said he was born in Edmonton.
Yeah, I think he like grew up mostly near like Lethbridge or something though.
Okay.
For some most of the time.
Fairview.
I will admit I did read the first half of his book, but didn't finish that one.
Oh, okay.
Once he got to cleaning his room, like, come on, man. How many times can I pet a cat?
Yeah. I mean, you just got to clean your room, though. It sounds like you got a probably messy ass room.
Fair point. Anyway, that's all I wanted.
All right. Thanks
Danny.
for your venting. Appreciate you. Take care, man. All right. All right. We got a good show tonight, actually. Thanks everybody for joining in. We are going to be starting the after show at 11 o'clock. There will be a priority phone number for the patrons. It won't be this 800 number if you want to call in. So, but the stream will continue. So if you don't want to join up on any of that stuff, you do not have to. You can still keep watching the show. We're going to watch some videos. If you have the gear beside your name, you can drop links. You're able to drop links with that. So that's if you want to do that, you got to become a patron or something, and then you also have to message me, like DM me, so that I can make you give you the link thingy, and then you get all sorts of stuff. Honestly, I'm so crazy. I'm giving away all this stuff. I must be an absolute lunatic. All right, we got one more caller, and then we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. Hello, last call of the night. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good. Who am I speaking with?
This is Charlie from Florida. How's it going?
Charlie from Florida. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. I just had a couple questions about what I wanted to ask your opinion about certain things. I know you were talking before about the state of the comedy business and stuff like that.
Yes, sure.
So I like you guys. I like you and Ryan and JP Sears and Brent Pella, those guys.
Yep.
Trevor Wallace, those guys. I noticed that a lot of, and I heard Ryan talk about this once too, how it's the atmosphere now is very good for doing stuff on your own, kind of building your own site, your own business, basically, like with a podcast, with doing sketches online, that kind of thing, editing them, putting them in YouTube. Where do you see it going? Do you see if you guys are getting really big and all those guys, if it starts getting to the point where people are doing it on their own and getting very, very getting a big audience, do you think eventually what's going to happen, you're going to see a swing in the other direction where companies like Netflix or Comedy Central or those type companies are going to start taking notice and being wow, these guys are doing it totally independent, but we kind of want to invest in it now. We want to
I think so, to a degree. You would think at some point they're still just businesses, and I mean, I would think at some point they would be look, these people have a built-in audience, and it does make. I mean, today, Andrew Schultz announced that he's playing a show in September in Toronto, where literally the Toronto Raptors play, which is pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. He's going to be a big show, but I mean, I think so. I think so. I mean, I imagine some people will become kind of too big to where it's not worth it, where they'll be you know what, I don't want the hassle. And, I'm sure some people, someone like JP Sears, if he went to Netflix, some of his supporters would be might not follow him over there, and they might not be too happy about him doing something on Netflix.
Right.
But Netflix is still one of the biggest games in town. If you have a pretty popular show, it's probably going to do better on Netflix than any other platform. But I don't know. I've been expecting this pendulum to swing back for a while, and it hasn't. So it is hard to say, but I would guess at some point, they you think Netflix at some point would be we would like some of the, top comedy people to be making stuff for us.
Right. And what do you want to do? Do you want to do stand up and write shows and screenplays, or you want to act too, or?
Me, I like to do all that stuff. Personally, I like doing sketches. I like writing. Ryan and I wrote a screenplay. All that stuff. I mean, when I started, I was I loved movies. I mean, I do love movies, but it seems like the way people watch movies is changing to a degree. But I mean, any of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Kids in the Hall, Monty Python, that kind of shit. I'm your guys' age basically, but
okay.
I like I think do you think that type of sketch comedy type thing, like Kids in the Hall especially, would come back.
I mean, I think you
sort
should
of.
leave. I think you should leave. I haven't got a chance to watch the new season, but I hear it's amazing. But like that show is amazing. Like it's on Netflix. It is like. Yeah, you know, like that show is, as you know, I don't want to say as good as Kids in the Hall, but probably is good. But there used to just be tons of sketch comedy shows, and that's like that's the only one I can even think of that exists right now. Is I Think You Should Leave. I don't know any others really. So that's like maybe the main difference is like there should be more than one sketch comedy show, but they just like every time they bring them back, they just eat shit. I guess SNL, sorry. SNL.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, they
Sure.
just eat shit. So, other than I Think You Should Leave. So, and I don't know. I think sketch comedy shows are maybe kind of expensive to make. I don't really know. I don't really know. But
you guys kind of do a little bit of sketch. I mean, what you do.
I mean,
is
we
basically
we literally do sketch comedy. That's specifically what we do. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sure we would make a great sketch comedy show, but just like nobody wants to give one to us. So that's kind of how that is, you know?
I kind of feel like eventually they'll be like, they're going to be to a point where like, they're going to be tired of like just doing things for the sake of like making a point or sending some sort of a stupid message along with it, and like just be like, okay, we just want to make stuff that's funny because that's what people want now.
Yeah, I think like a lot of the people who work at these places, they'll want to send the message too. They want there to be more than just something funny for the sake of it. But I mean, there's no message, and I think you can leave. So or whatever whatever it's called, I can't even remember. All right, I gotta let you go. We're gonna fire up the after show soon, but I appreciate you calling in. Thanks, dog.
Thanks, man.
All right. All right, everybody. That has been the main show. Stick around. I will be back at 11 p.m. A shout out to the Goob, actually, who was just gifted another membership. I'll be back at 11 p.m. With the after show, the normal after show that we normally do. I will be back. We'll be doing it. I will maybe give away another membership in the after show. I don't know, so stick around. We'll see. But thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much, everybody, for calling in on the first true Open Lines Anything Goes episode. Shout out to everybody watching over on Rumble as well. And if you're watching anywhere else besides Rumble and YouTube, really, what are you doing with your life? I can't imagine why you'd be doing that. But you do you. Yeah, all right. We will see you back here shortly, and if you want to gain all full access to the after show, blah 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 blah, sign up for the Patreon, all that stuff. All right, we'll see you back here very shortly.